Hi, welcome to Honors Chemistry. I am Miss O'Keefe and I am the Honors Chemistry teacher here. I also teach AP Chemistry, the Foundations Chemistry class, and the College Prep Chemistry class. So a ton of chemistry. So the best way to contact me is via email. That way I can get back to you in a timely fashion. If you call, we don't have phones in our classroom, so it's going to be very difficult for me in between classes or during a free period to get back to you. So the best way to contact me is via email. We are in room 13, and the periods that I am available for help will be before school at 7:30 a.m. So if your son or daughter is here early or they want to get help early, they would just want to make arrangements with me maybe the day before, and I'll make sure I'm here at 7:30. And when I'm here, I'll come get them and wherever it is that they're supposed to be, if it's the cafeteria, the gym, the library, I'll make sure I come and grab them when I'm here. I'm here after school until 3:30, and I'm also available on A days, period 2, and on B days, period 1. So honors chemistry is a fast-paced chemistry class. I usually think of it as AP Chemistry 1 because it kind of lays the foundation for AP Chemistry. It is math intensive, and reading comprehension is kind of one of the skills that is a must. So students that usually take this course are students that want to take the AP Chemistry course, which is going to be offered next year, and students that want to go into engineering, or they want to be doctors, or they want to be scientists, or they just really, really enjoy science and they're really good at math, are the students that usually want to take honors chemistry. So a couple things that the students need to bring with them to class every period are going to be their fully charged Chromebook, a scientific calculator. The calculator that they use for math is fine. So if they have a TI 80 something, something that can do exponents are going to be preferable. So a notebook with notes. So they want to keep like a binder or something so that they can keep their handouts in it so that they can stay organized. And this is an anti-pen zone. We make a ton of mistakes in honors chemistry. And for some strange reason, students do not know about liquid paper. So they usually just kind of scratch things out and make things very untidy, sometimes holes in paper, and I would prefer not to get that. So we need a lot of pencils. So a couple of our classroom rules are going to be, of course, to be respectful to me and to their fellow classmates. So that entails like not talking while I'm talking or somebody else is talking, raising their hand, not just calling out, coming to class prepared with all of the materials that they need to bring to class, being honest, not cheating, only using the things that they're supposed to be using, and of course, being involved, asking questions, answering questions, that type of thing. Now, there are a couple of additional rules for our remote students. All of our classes are going to be recorded. The recordings cannot be reposted anywhere, but they are going to be available for everyone's viewing on Google Classroom. So students can view what we do the day if they missed like a class and they want to catch up and come in prepared for the next class, which I always advise. They want to make sure that they view our recordings for the day that they miss. Students, for our remote students, they have to be visible on camera. It can't be like their Bitmoji or just the big letter of their name, or they're shrouded in darkness or something like that. Casual dress attire is required. They have to be upright, sitting at a desk or a table, and they have to actively participate in the class as well. We have really good speakers in the classroom, so if they just want to ask a question, no matter what part of the room that I am, I will hear them. So tests this year are going to be open note, not open book. So any notes that the students have taken and written at themselves, that they're going to be allowed to use on their tests. So any PowerPoints that I have given them, they are also allowed to use. They're not allowed to use the book. Of course, they're not allowed to use the internet, and they're not allowed to use any worksheets that I have given them. Tests are usually given at the end of each chapter. And if students miss the period before a test, I usually give a week notice of advance so students do know that they'll be taking a test a week in advance. So they should be prepared even though they miss the period before a test, which is usually the review period. But I do understand that things happen and I do understand how kids are. So they would need to make some other arrangements with me. Tests will be administered to the remote students via Google Classroom using Google Forms. So the remote students should be taking their tests using their Chromebook. Quizzes are also going to be open note and not open book. So any notes that they have taken, any PowerPoints that I have given them, they're not allowed to use the book, the internet, or any worksheets that we have used. Once again, our remote students are going to be taking their tests via Google Classroom, so they should take their tests using their Chromebook. Pop quizzes are always on the table, and since their quizzes are open note, students should be always prepared for class, because if they come into class without their notes one day and there's a pop quiz, they're still expected to take the pop quiz on that day. If they missed a period before a quiz, students are still expected to take the quiz unless some type of other arrangements are made. So labs are going to be completed in 2 to 3 sections, meaning that I'm going to take one section to the lab and we're going to do the lab. Usually it takes us about maybe 2 or 3 class periods to do labs. So one section will go with me to the lab and the other sections will stay in the classroom and work on something else. And then we'll switch and we'll complete the lab, so social distancing will be informed. Of course, it's going to take forever to complete a lab. It may take us weeks to complete the lab, but I do understand that labs are an essential part of chemistry and the students really enjoy the labs. Missed labs, however, cannot be made up. Students who are taking the class synchronously will be placed into a lab group. So when their lab group goes to the lab, they'll be able to see everything and note take with their lab groups. They just won't be able to perform the actual lab. All of our lab reports must be submitted through Google Classroom. I will not be accepting any paper labs. All homework must be turned in using Google Classroom. So I see that you see the whole trend, Google Classroom. So no paper this year. I will not be accepting any paper this year. So everything must be turned in via Google Classroom. I do not accept late homework. So homework is considered late if they just didn't do it and didn't turn it in, and I've already graded it and returned it. If a student is absent and they haven't turned in their homework and they have a valid excuse, that's not considered late. But students should always check Google Classroom to make sure that homework is not due on the day that they're coming back, because everything will be posted on Google Classroom. Homework can include reading and note-taking. Homework will not be accepted if it is not written legibly or typed, if it's uploaded in the wrong direction. So if I kind of have to try to grade it this way, I'm not going to grade it. I'm not going to accept it. So they have to make sure that they upload it in the correct direction. If it's not written in complete sentences, and if all mathematical calculations are not shown. I do not accept answers alone. So if there's math involved, they need to show me how they got this answer. They cannot just show me the answer. Once again, this is the times I am available for extra help. So if your son or your daughter is having problems with a particular topic, please advise them to see me sooner rather than later, because we don't want to wait till the day before a test in order to get help, because chances are I'm not going to be able to do a lot for them the period before a test or the day of a test. They can't come and tell me, Miss O'Keefe, I don't know anything, because it took me a while to teach the chapter, so I'm not going to be able to do it in just a short amount of time. So once again, I am Miss O'Keefe, and this is Honors Chemistry, and the quickest way to get in contact with me will be via email. Thank you.